Welcome to everybody to Scorner Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor, your all-in-one platforming needs. Well, got you covered. They got a band-aid? Boom! Anchor got you covered. You need a good podcast? Anchor got you covered. So, yeah, Anchor is our sponsor. Thank you so much. Joining me today, we have Joseph, and we have Charles, everybody. And, yeah, James is still getting that milk money. It's been a week. We took last week off. I'll say this for everyone. We all needed it. We all had things to do. We all needed it. And not a lot happened in the day-to-day news. But there is some updates today that we'll get into. But I want to hear how the weeks are going. So Joseph, how are you doing on this fine Monday?
Not bad, man. Still living the dream. Working on current freelance projects, trying to develop more freelance work. So there's a TikToker, I'll pull the name of it afterwards, but he's probably gonna make the most prominent freelance influencer on TikTok. And the rule that they say is spend half a day doing current business, spend the other half developing new business. I mean, that is great. That is really cool. Unless, of course, you don't have the time to develop new ones because you got so much old one, but then you're good. So yeah, it's been interesting. The contract that I was working on, it's starting to wrap up, which means that crap, I gotta find like another main contract to go into. So prioritizing that, but still making time to still live my life. Jen and I took another Niagara trip. I've got a little treat for you guys.
Ooh. Oh my God. For the audio listeners, he just showed an IHOP. Watch the fuck out.
I'll put the video in proper resolution on the edit with sound.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, we went there. So I know that like some of the Canadian holidays are not the same as the American holidays. Sometimes we have the same Monday will be off, but we'll just have like two different names for it. Mm-hmm. So 2 Mondays ago from this recording was Victoria Day. No, last Monday was Victoria Day. So that's a Canadian holiday. So we went to Niagara Falls for that weekend. And my God, that was the busiest I've ever seen it. And I've been there only a few times, but it was just like person to person. We were all crammed in there, and we still don't have COVID. I don't know what it's gonna take. We went to a water park. We got into a body of water. There were other families there. Kids shot in the pool. People had to get everybody out of the pool. And somebody's job is to go in and clean the shit out of the pool. And we're like, oh, we're fine. I think at this point I need to jinx it because I don't know when it's going to take to catch this damn thing already.
I said the same. I said the same fucking thing. I don't know when I'm going to catch it, but at this point I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, I'm going to get it now. I've jinxed myself, so here it comes. But it's an interesting time to kind of like waver between like chilling out, enjoying, and then still stressing out about the day-to-day things that I got to deal with. It just yeah, and then briefly also like I don't get into too many animes, but every now and then an anime comes along that that just sings to me, and this one's called Spy Family. Although if you read it, it's Spy X Family, but usually the X's are silent. And the premise is a husband and a wife and a child are all pretending to be a family together, but they all have a secret. One's a spy, one's an assassin, one can read minds. And it's just like, it's so wholesome because you're watching these lethal killers slowly learn to be a family together. And it's like, it's actually, and the kid is, usually kids are like the weak part of a show, but the kid is an absolute star. It's just so much fun to watch the show. So I gobbled that up. I loved it. If you're even slightly into anime, it's worth it.
Nice. When you said X, I thought you were gonna be fucking. Not gonna lie.
No. There's just definitely one of those times where we're kind of glad the characters aren't.
Yeah. No, when you said like they all had a secret, I went, oh no, oh my God. That's Alabama shit right there. But yeah, nice.
I didn't know they had I don't know those were secrets, but
hey, there's secrets in the family. Okay, we're not supposed to discuss it. But is there anything else fun happen?
Probably.
Okay.
It's like, I got a question for you though. One thing I've been wondering is like, because I know you do editing work too, right? Like you also look for clients. So how do you source your clients?
They reach out to me.
And
100%.
how do they know how to find you?
Honestly, they watch my work, so they will find me on LinkedIn. When I was using it constantly, they would find me on TikTok, they would find me on Instagram, they would find me on YouTube, and they'd be like, man, I've always wanted to edit like this. And either it's a paid thing where I teach them, or it's a situation where they're like, if I slipped you 20, could you get this something? And before, I would realize clients never came back because my editing still wasn't great. And versus like now, with all the education I took in the previous year, it's like, okay, now people actually return. But yeah, it's most of the time like they will find me, and then my part of the job is to shut the fuck up about it. So it's like names and stuff I would never disclose.
No.
But
That's fair.
there's a few times where I can see people putting the pieces together like, hey, this person's content is kind of similar to yours, and I'm like, where did they get that idea from? So there is a few times where you could definitely tell, but yeah, they mostly reach out to me. But I highly recommend, you mentioned many times on the show about like different sites you can put up your own work. So places like Fiverr, where it's directly through the website, third-party software. And then there are things like the ones you've been using to where you can actually like put your application out there and people will sift through it to find you instead. But yeah, if you're an influencer trying to just make an extra buck, or not even an influencer, but you work a 9 to 5, but you want to try to move everything in the game, and highly recommend doing things like Fiverr and make it a TikTok. Even mention it like, hey, hire me. Thing is, I don't have time, so it's like the less people that know, the better. And once I start getting too full, and now I'm gonna be like, hey, I got a guy named Joseph. he could use a job.
Mm-hmm.
But so far I've been able to keep it small, keep it simple, keep it to where no one knows about it too much. And then every now and then I'll get someone ask me like, hey, where did you find these people? I went, well, they found me. They sat outside my house and waited. No, please don't ever go to someone's house, sit outside. Except I will do that with Charles. All I need to do is just turn on GTA 5 and it should load right up. Dude, that thumbnail did good, by the way, for the previous week podcast. So Charles ended up last podcast. He kept having like fire trucks and police cars going outside his house constantly, and so the common theme was like living real life in GTA. So I was like, man, you'll be a funny thumbnail as if we like made it to where like you're live streaming GTA and running around. That thumbnail did fucking great for our usual, and our view duration is great. Like our click through rate was great. I was like, damn, okay. Like we're at this current point in time of recording, we have like 7 subscribers on YouTube. And so anytime you can hit a 10% mark with your subscribers to views, that for us it would be like 2.3 views. If we can hit a 10% mark, we're doing great. We're doing our average. So anytime you hit above your subscriber count and views, it's always a massive like, oh my God. So with even a podcast that hits like 15 views for our channel, it's great. It's all great, and it's worth celebrating. Any little milestone like that's always worth celebrating. But yeah, I was like, damn, I did not think that thumbnail was going to do good. So now, of course, because I'm like, gotta keep pushing them out. And now I'm like, damn it, now I have to do thumbnails like that every week. So it's but it is what it is, and they do very well. But Charles, how's your weeks been going? How have you been?
I've been doing all right. Like I was telling you guys before we started, I was freaking up till like 2 o'clock in the morning just about because I freaking 5-hour freaking pay-per-view the other night, plus recording a freaking YouTube short I did afterwards. And I've just been, doing what I normally do. I'm playing Destiny freaking a shit ton lately because the new season just started like a week earlier last week.
Nice. Any good?
Yeah. Freaking thing I like the most about it is that I can do a Final Fantasy 14 and I can freaking run around killing things with a scythe like the Grim Reaper.
Nice. I was thinking more Ruby, but yeah, no, that's awesome. Any
I wish they had a freaking gun scythe in the game. That'd be sweet.
Dude, if they did, especially like Ruby's version, 100% I would play the game. if they brought in like a sniper rifle scythe into the game, I'll be like, fucking, I'm reinstalling. Now you're gonna be texting Bungie, I need this. Add this in. My friend will only play it if you do this. But no, that's good.
That's one of the weapons that I've always liked about in Ruby was, Ruby's scythe. It's also a fucking sniper rifle.
Dude, I love like the actual like the smarts that went into like creating the weapons, like the scythe, the shotgun gauntlets. Like I love all that. That is some creative nonsense. Like I was like, damn, that's good.
The
There
fact
was
that
a
Blake's just literally just a freaking Glock with a freaking thing on the that turns into a sword.
yeah. I love it all. I will always support Rooster Teeth, but Ruby was one of the greatest animes I've ever seen.
I somehow had some dude. I think they had like a fucking is he like a coffee mug or a freaking can or something? I turned into a fucking gun.
Oh, I think yeah.
It's a freaking lunatic professor from like the first
Yeah,
couple seasons.
Someone,
One that Zwei get a freaking double team move with.
I can't remember the voice actor. I know who you're talking about, but I mean, the thought process that went behind these weapons were absolutely amazing for Ruby. And I think the scythe is what really kind of pointed out, like, it's fucking cool. Like, I love Soul Eater, and the main the main character in it uses a scythe. But I absolutely love every bit about Rubies and how they've made things. But yeah, so you did your live stream about WWE. How did that
AW.
go? I don't fucking care.
It did pretty good.
Congratulations. By the way, I don't give a shit.
Well, it's like the name. It's like if I'm sitting there saying like, you know, oh yeah, that RVB show, and you're like Red versus Blue. It's like, shut the fuck up. I know what I'm talking about. But no, that's good. Yeah, I hopped in last night. Got the tune in CJ the Lone Wolf on YouTube, and you just passed 153 subscribers.
Yep, that's where I'm at right now. Last I checked.
Yeah, I sat there and I noticed these things, you know, when you were part of my life. I noticed. So yeah, that's exciting. It's a slow growth. Love to see it though. You're definitely growing.
Worth a long fucking wait for that main event.
Yeah, as soon as I seen you, like I said, so for those of you who don't know, we go live on Twitch, and we've been trying to keep like some sort of consistency on the weekends. It's never a guarantee because so much shit happens. My truck actually caught fire the other day, so I had to deal with all of that. I haven't talked about
your
that.
actual truck caught fire?
My $150,000 semi truck caught fire. Yeah.
Okay.
What the fuck?
First of all, I'm very sorry to hear that.
But
We'll get
to that in a minute.
No, before I forget, because
okay,
a few weeks ago I was saying like, when I talk about my life is this and that, and when Charles talks about his life is this and that, but when it's Jordan's turn, it's kind of a wild card. Like something might be on fire. those go look it up. That's what I said.
I believe it. Well, because like I'm a person who is really open about my life, so I don't feel like there's a lot to discuss. But when I talk to people about my life, they're always like, "You're fucking fascinating." I'm like, "Thanks, Dad. Please come home." So it's always like it's that situation where I'm just podcast. Like, it's whatever it is, you know. I just do my thing. But with that being stated, yeah, it's my life gets twists and turns all the time. But we're talking about my wild card, or fire card, I should say. But yeah, so we go live. We try to go live on the weekends. We were supposed to go live with some Halo Legendary. That in the previous week, you guys should follow Skull Hunter Games on Twitch and see me and Charles go live with Halo 3 and Legendary. And we might even go through the rest of the Halo campaigns if it does good. Yeah, so Charles went live with his AEW, and I went, oh, thank God. And that's why it leads into my side is, so on Wednesday, my girlfriend, for those of you who might not know, me and my girlfriend bought a semi-truck about 3 years ago. It's a pink breast cancer awareness truck. And we travel the country supporting breast cancer, all this stuff. Now we're doing a major campaign, Honk for Pink. Every honk every honk we get on the highway, we will donate $1 to breast cancer research. So it's something we're doing to sit there and support. And plus, you know, it's a semi truck; they're expensive, and we're trying to sit there and make the most out of what we're doing. And so Wednesday, she's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the power goes out in the truck. And it's like, okay, cool. The alternator's shot. Don't know why, but it's shot. Bring it to the mechanic. First night in the hotel. She's like, okay, everything's good. It'll be checked out tomorrow morning. She gets a phone call from the mechanic. And remind you, I'm on stream. I'm live because it's Wednesday. I'm live. I'm doing my stuff. We're 6 hours into stream. get a phone call, I pick it up, and I'll make sure everything is okay. She's like, hey, is everything good? Yeah, our truck's on fire. What? What? She's like, yeah, the mechanics called and they said they put the new alternator in and it just went up. Is our truck good? She's like, oh yeah, it's good. It went out. But it did catch fire and now it's going to be down for a few more days. The trucks don't just catch fire. What happened?
When you asked, did they put in the alternator? I was expecting her to say, it didn't take.
It took up a lot. So yeah, the alternator caught fire. Not much to cause damage, but enough to where it had to get reported to our company that she works for and our truck is leased under. So it got fixed and all that, but that meant she was supposed to be home Thursday night. She didn't get home until about 5 a.m. on Friday night. And so I had to stay up with her because she was falling asleep, and it's not safe to fall asleep while driving. So I'm over there trying to keep her awake on the phone with her. So we stayed up until about 5, went to sleep at about 8 o'clock, canceled my streams for the day. We got up at like noon because I was like, we have to get up to keep a schedule. And then she was like, yeah, I have to get up at 3. And PM or AM? She's like, AM. That's trucking for you. So we had to go to bed. We woke up at 3 a.m. and yeah, I was so happy Charles went live with AEW. If not, I was gonna want to die. And I was on massive caffeine. Like, my trash can, no joke, is just energy. Oh wait, one fell out. Energy, and that's all.
Yeah, they fell out because you're not crumpling them.
No.
You gotta rinse them out, then you gotta crumple them.
Wait, rinse them out? Why rinse them out?
We do. Well, if there's any like, I don't know what the local bug life is in your area, but there's any residual liquid in there, that liquid will eventually like solidify, and it's obviously an energy drink, so it's jam packed with sugar, and that'll attract bugs. Ooh. So we rinse it out, and then we crumple it. You can do. I don't even do that all that often. But I always crumple the stuff in my recycling because it makes the bags last longer because it's more concentrated.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm not Rain Man, but there were 6 cans in there, and one of them fell out.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you crumple them up, you can have like 15 of those.
Well, 15, you are 100% correct. Besides, my bangs have 0 sugar because I'm a healthy bitch.
There's a sweetener in there. Don't tell me the bees are that picky.
Stevia is sugar.
Stevia. The thing they're already having. Yeah, no, that won't be a problem.
We're all coming in hot from a week off. But so yeah, you are 100% right. If I crumbled them up.
Truck that was on fire.
Well, yeah. Well, truck was on fire. Fuck that. But my trash can, though. Let's talk about that.
I can't help you with the truck because I'm useless. But I know what to do about the cans in the car.
You know something about those cans, not the truck catching fire. Sorry, alternator, but them cans though need rinsed out. Now, the actual reason I don't crush the cans is usually I'm live streaming and I don't want to crush things up on camera while I'm streaming and stuff because I don't know how the audio is gonna pick it up. I thought about doing that, and then Brittany said, don't do dumb shit while she's gone. And so I'm like, okay, I won't do that. But it's like, when I used to do that with water bottles, I don't know what ended up happening, but every time I did that, my mic would just like cut out completely. Like it hit like a weird sensor and it went, it's too loud, and it just stopped.
That happens with me in this. I think there's like a built-in limiter where if I raise my voice too much, it'll just like cease to process sound. Yeah. In fact, I'm worried that what I had just done isn't going to make it through. So this is why I tend to I had to remember to lean back when I'm going to raise my voice.
I try to do it. That's why I actually had to get a new microphone because of that reason. But even this one will still do it from time to time if I get really loud. But that's why it's also a compressor mic. So whenever you get loud, it narrows in your audio tone so it stays at a certain level. But when I do yell, I try to just move away so it's not nearly as heavy on the mic. Sometimes though, according to chat, I get way out of hand. But I did go, speaking of live streams though, I was live today, got my first raid ever. I got raided by an awesome community. I forgot the name, but I got raided by their community. Gained a few followers from it. They're really cool people hopping in, joining in. So Skull Hunters gets a little bit bigger at a time. We've also have been grown on TikTok massively. I think yesterday I netted over 25 followers without posting, without doing anything. I just gained 24 followers. Joseph, your last TikTok, Joseph posted a TikTok, and it was him. It was him walking in the rain, and you just hear the song, "I'm walking on sunshine." He's like, "Not now."
There's a small detail I don't know if it came across, but if you watch towards the end and it says it's time to feel good, and I try to like, and my face is trying to look like it's visually holding back tears. Yeah, that was taken while I was in Niagara. We got lucky, by the way. We had a huge storm here that knocked over trees, but Niagara was fine. A few thunderclaps, but like, you know, it was all right. And that's kind of the fun that I've been having with TikTok too. Is like one of the things that they'll tell you is like, you know, find your niches, have a consistency, and have like what are your rules. So for me, my rule is, well, I'm just gonna make vines. And just like live my life, and if a spontaneous opportunity comes to me, like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I have like 10 or so TikTok ideas of just like, you know, sketches and clips that I want to do, and I never motivate myself enough to do them. There's something about like being in the moment and realizing I have like 10 seconds to do this funny idea that I'll never get another chance to do again, and that actually inspires me to be like, Jen, here, hold my shit. It's not the time to play that. Yeah.
Those what make the best. But it's like, obviously this is not the day and age with like certain dark humor don't pass. And so Joseph last TikTok, I'm pretty sure got shadow banned.
Oh, well.
Because it was like 4 seconds long, and it was like, you know, oh, here's some like things to do when you're bored. And
can I just play it?
Yeah, play it.
Yeah, I'll just play it. Yeah. So first video 657 views. Second one 900 views. 12 views. And then 768 views.
One this is.
One of these is not like the other. Just make sure the volume's up.
I'll real fast clarify that all of his TikToks before this are friendly. He hasn't done anything to his account, anything else. So go ahead and play the clip.
Here's an easy side hustle that you can start doing right now. Kill a man. Here's an easy side hustle.
So
I was messaging you, by the way. I'm like, is something wrong with my TikTok? People aren't seeing this. This is like the funniest thing I've come up with all week, and no one's seeing my TikToks. What's going on, Jordan?
Yeah,
and by the way, I don't feel bad about messaging you
funny.
anymore because I love that. Like, I'm just gonna message you constantly because I'm editing his show. He's gonna answer my fucking questions.
Yeah,
he would have done it anyways, but I can do it with more gusto.
So Joseph is now to the point where like he will message me a work question and then immediately follow up with something else. So we'll be like, hey, I'm looking for this. Also, what's up with my TikTok? Also, you should do a better fucking job of editing. He hasn't said that, but his advice did help.
I implied that.
You implied it, and I did put it in the works because I will always try new things, and since I put anyone that knows putting text on screen is just frustrating to begin with, but when you're making them pop up to follow your tone of voice and to make it where it works, you only have a narrow window to do the over-the-shoulder technique. That is what's famous for TikToks and Facebook and Instagram, is over-the-shoulder technique. So if you cannot listen to it but still see what the video is talking about, there's a good chance it's gonna pass. That means you have a good chance of getting a valuable TikTok out of it. But so my one TikTok I did, I made videos like slide up from the bottom, and that took 0.6 seconds. So it was 0.6 seconds, and it slides up. That little bit of time was noticeable for you to even sit there and be like, hey, I think it would be better if they just were static on the screen, like just it changed on screen like that. So I did that, and it has helped. I've been doing it ever since you brought it up, and I was like, you know what? It does help, and it saves so much time trying not to hotkey different frames so it pops up at the right times and everything else. And it helps, and it works.
I mean, I think it works if you know you're popping up like maybe a sentence at a time or something like that, a little bit more dynamic. Yeah. But when it was like one word at a time and it kept sliding, I'm like, all right.
And of course, like I was even like testing with like sentences and put a sentence up. When you have a 16:9 screen and you realize you have a big phone to begin with and you can't even read the shit on the screen, you're like, maybe I shouldn't put a whole sentence up there. So that's when I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
one word at a time.
I will say this though. Speaking holistically, is that there's been a few times where like I've had people message me with like critiques, and it has rubbed me the wrong way. There's something about like whatever vibe I happen to be in that moment, and then like I'm really not in the mood to get any constructive feedback.
Yeah.
Hey Joseph, your video was too quiet. So I will resolve to like make these notes and tell you about it when we meet up. I think it's better for the vibe, even if
well,
I'm
like
right.
even you seeing that, it does, like you mentioned it, and literally like the video that you mentioned that with was a video that I was talking about, like Trapper being in the basement, a character from Dead by Daylight, and you were talking about that video barely hit 1,000 views when all my other ones were nailing 1,000 within a day.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wait, no, it wasn't. I don't think it was Trapper in the Basement. I think it was, yeah, it was Trapper in the Basement. Like that was the one I was like, yeah, well, the texts were popping up down below. Barely hit 1,000. Literally the next day I was like, you know what? He said this. I'm like, and it wasn't even like constructive. I was just joking around about, fucking this. But in the point of like, he brought it up. It was a good thing because I was like, it's taking so much time. It's taking so much time to get it out. You should only spend X amount of time on a TikTok. When I'm spending 2 hours with my dyslexic ass putting text on screen and also trying to get my little thing to go half a second in so a text could pop up and still have enough time for people to read it. And then he's like, well, I would just cut that. I'll just make it static. The time it saved was phenomenal. And the results were still there. And no matter what, the text on the screen was still there, and it definitely helped. And that's why I always say, like, have a friend, have someone you work with, have someone that close to you, that will tear your shit apart. And I know that sounds bad, but if you know you have that person that will tear your shit apart, it's good because at least then you're
talking about somebody, by the way, who I couldn't even harvest the little sisters from BioShock, not even once, just to see what the animation was. I worship tact. So I think if somebody, they might have like the best intentions, but if their timing is off, or if they pick the wrong format or wrong delivery message, then they've done themselves a disservice. So that's why I'm saying, like, okay, you know what I would try to do in the future, if I know I'm going to be seeing you like once a week, every now and then, every 2 weeks, I'll just wait till I tell them in person.
Yeah, and that always works. And one thing I always tell people is like, when it's all said and done, if you know someone's, especially like, this is one that got me. It's like, I was talking to my brother one day, and he brought up the fact that, hey, your TikToks are doing great. And I was like, yeah, thank you, dude. I've been grinding. I've been working hard on this, and I'm in a shitty mood because I got shadow banned and all this stuff. I'm just being shitty. He's like, well, maybe you should start making DVD content then.
Oh, I'm sorry, I heard DVD. Okay.
Oh, yeah, the DVD Dead by Daylight. He was like, you should stop making Dead by Daylight content. I went, what the fuck do you think? I'm working on this so I can dominate the industry for this so I can move on. I'm like, why would you say that to me? And like, there's also like, people need to read a room or read a room a little bit, even if it's a call or if you literally heard your bro say you're having a shitty day, don't bring it up.
Yeah, like I will say I didn't really grasp just how I think impactful Dead by Daylight is in the gaming community, but it is 6 years old. You know, and it has a lot of partnerships with a lot of other horror properties. So it is a staple of horror at this point. I think it's fair to say that.
It is. Dead by Daylight is a game that no one expected to hit their 6-year anniversary coming up. No one expected it. Not even behavior of the company themselves expected Dead by Daylight to hit that massive of a spot. And right now, they are literally, if you think of a horror game that has all these licensed killers, you think Friday the 13th or you think Dead by Daylight. Now you think of Friday the 13th because of Friday the 13th, Jason. The only one that's not a part of Dead by Daylight because there's a license issue that's obviously going on. It's almost solved though. But Winnie the Pooh is actually coming out with a horror movie. I don't know who all saw that, but I'm fucking excited.
I haven't seen any of the footage, but I saw the pictures. I'm like, I'm not even. This isn't even a question. I'm seeing this.
I'm not.
Why not? Dude, like, you want to see Pooh Bear fucking slit a woman's throat? I do. It's like, the thing is like, I absolutely love the idea of it because they're like, less. They did it so smart. Like the license free, so they have 100% okay with doing it because Disney never signed on their license or anything else, or whoever made Winnie the Pooh, they never re-signed on for Pooh Bear. So if no one ever signed for it, it's been past 25 years since he was originally created. It's free to use. So the movie said, okay, Piglet and Pooh Bear are free to use. Tigger cannot be used because Disney re-signed it. So they can't use Tigger, but they can use Pooh. They can use Piglet, and they eat an Eeyore, so they can't use him. But yeah, dead serious. They ate Eeyore.
I believe you.
They ate the
and I'm just thinking it's kind of
bastard.
lucky that they didn't get into the very muddy water of having somebody named Tigger in that particular kind of movie.
I think there's a reason they didn't.
You know what? They probably, they dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
Pardon the expression.
Because we all know they could have slithered around since they were being really smart about that movie, but they slithered around everything else, so it was smart that they didn't. But yeah, they're making a horror movie, Winnie the Pooh. There's a gnat in my office and it's pissing me off. We have a garden in our other room, and so
there's a gnat in your room, and you're not washing out the cans.
Shut the fuck up, Mom. Okay, the cans have absolutely nothing to do with it. You see any liquid in this? You see? Oh shit!
It's coming out. Oh, you walked right into that one.
Oh my god! I didn't drink it all. No.
You're on camera. Remember not to lick your hands.
Oh man, that's embarrassing. I need to clean the floors now. But ignore that. So we've been heavily talking about TikTok, and the reason we're also kind of heavily talking about it is because TikTok is one of the biggest things on the news right now, and it involves TikTok becoming a little bit like our well-known streaming platform Twitch. So Twitch has made their changes and everything else. YouTube has came to combat that. To hype on top of that, TikTok notices that when people go live, people stay on the platform longer. People stay on the platform longer, they get more money out of it. So they are now making changes to literally copy and paste Twitch. Now, I say literally, this is what they're doing. And if we can find a link, I could not find a safe link to put in the description. So if there is one, it is safe. So what I found out is they are making a subsystem so you can get a paid subscription to your favorite creator. They are doing a donation, I think they call it donation coins. You can donate coins to your favorite creators. They are doing a badge system. So whenever you donate coins, you subscribe, do all this stuff, you can get a little tag by your name. And to top all that off, they are going to be releasing official stream keys. Some creators already have this, but they are going to be releasing stream keys that you can actually put into your OBS, so you can actually stream straight to TikTok without having to do a bunch of third-party nonsense. You can actually get your stream keys and stream properly. Now, like I said, some creators already have this, but most of those creators, you have to be past a certain following point. TikTok's only thing is you have to be past 1,000 followers. Once you're past 1,000 followers, they will sit there and give you the stream key. So with this though, we're seeing a pattern here. Twitch is backing down on their positions. They're kind of cowering in a corner, trying to suck up any little bit of money they can. And we're seeing every single multi-million-dollar app immediately say, we are going to take a piece of this pie. So where do we see Twitch going? And do we think TikTok could be the new Twitch?
If Twitch don't get the shit together, then TikTok probably will be. If people enjoy using TikTok more than Twitch, and a lot of people and whatever freaking big dog streamers they still have on Twitch probably end up migrating over to TikTok.
Yeah, because didn't just this year we noticed that Dr. Disrespect has officially settled the lawsuit for Twitch. Dr. Disrespect has settled the lawsuit. Tim the Tatman I don't think is on Twitch anymore. I know there's a lot of other creators who left Twitch, and it seems like there's going to be droves more leaving. But it seems like a lot of those people are still leaving to YouTube, though, not Twitch. But I do think you're right, Charles. If Twitch don't get their act together, they could lose potential new creators. And we already know Twitch makes the most money out of small creators for bits, for subs, all that. They make more money out of small creators, because once a creator gets so high on Twitch, they can turn off their ads. Once they turn off their ads, Twitch makes literally nothing, because once you get big enough on Twitch, you start getting paid ad spots where companies like G Fuel, Manscaped can sit there and be like, hey, we'll pay you X amount to mention us in your stream X amount of times. Now that you turn off Twitch ads and going, okay, cool, we put this on, now Twitch don't make nearly as much money as they want or should. So I feel like if Twitch, and we've all talked about this, Twitch needs a better discovery feature. They need like the place you can actually upload videos. So let's say Charles starts a Twitch and he wants to upload his little gaming clips that he took on the Xbox. We should be able to do that on Twitch, and that could help a discovery feature. But it doesn't seem like Twitch is going in that direction. It seems like Twitch is literally falling back. Now, this could mean that they're falling back because they have a new project, a bigger project. Maybe it's called Amazon Gaming. Who knows? But maybe they have
They're going with River.
If they did, I would... Oof.
It's a streaming service.
I get it. It's a streaming service.
River.
It streams. I get it, Dad. Goddamn dad jokes.
I use StreamYard freaking for my live streams, and that's supposed to be more like a thing for businesses. But I use it just with me and my friends use it, and we just have our doing what we do best while we're watching wrestling.
I know a lot of people use StreamYard. I absolutely hate StreamYards, and that's just because like. I just hate streaming. I love tech. That's a big thing with me. I love technology. I love apps. I love all this stuff. I love when you can literally control every little thing about it. StreamYards is just like an all-in-one platform that I get and it works, but it's like an all-in-one platform that don't let you do certain changes, don't let you control certain ways. There's not a lot of customization features, and they could change. I'm not bashing on them at all, but for me, I would rather just go through the third-party Discord, OBS, good to go. I would rather that. But Joseph, what are your opinion? What do you think TikTok will end up being, and do you think it could be the next Twitch?
So a quick little bit of housekeeping. The freelancer that I said earlier, Jamie Brindle. So if you're interested in freelancing, he's a really good guy to follow. He has a lot of good advice on just like what kind of, again, coming back to tact, what kind of tact a freelancer needs to take with their clientele. A lot about professionalism and just making sure that you're making the money that you should be making. So just quick shout out to that. All right. So as for TikTok, now I don't like the idea of watching somebody live on TikTok. I don't see me doing that. Because it's just the way that I use TikTok. It's always like a downtime thing. Like I have a few minutes to kill, or I just need to decompress because my stress levels are going up to high. Go on a TikTok thing for 10 minutes and then away I go. And the beauty of each individual video is that, with the exception of people who will say follow for part 2, which I don't, but typically a TikTok is a complete experience, even if it is only a 5 to 10 second experience. You get you invest, and then your investment pays off, and you're done.
Yep.
Now let's say I'm going to sit down on a couch and I'm going to watch something. This is where I would have wanted to see Twitch and live streaming in general gets towards, where there becomes something that you actually want to like sit down and watch live, like a wrestling program. The problem is that there's no guarantee that it's going to leave the viewer with that sense of closure that a person would get watching a movie or even an episode of a TV show. An episode of a TV show can, if it's a ongoing story, there's always going to be a hook at the end. And so, like a few episodes go by and usually there's like a softer hook. So it's like, okay, you can rest here. It's not a cliffhanger. You can go. And TikTok. So that's what the struggle that Twitch is having. And it's all about like, where do you see your audience participating in this content? Twitch is at its best when it's on my second monitor. And, I just have stuff playing and I can pop in, maybe chat for a little bit, but for the most part I'm just minding my own business. That's Twitch at its best. That's streaming at its best. So with streaming on TikTok, and because this is such an accessible platform and has like the lowest technical ceiling I think of any platform by far, there's a lot of people who are going to live stream on that, and they're just not going to be arsed to live stream on YouTube, even as accessible as that is. They're not even going to be arsed to stream on one of those user-friendly streaming platforms like StreamYards, like you're saying. For them, TikTok is probably the only mean that they're going to try this live thing out. And so I can understand that for a lot of the creators who are very much native to TikTok and really don't dabble in anything else, it is a good fit for them because they're natural TikTokers now. They know how to really work that particular format. Their audience is not going to be typically, but no, they can be. Their audience is not expected to be funneled into another platform, which means that they're not priming the audience for a different experience. It's not like you and I, we use our TikToks, but I do intend that I want people to kind of like, move into another area at some point, to check me out here. And the same goes for you too. So a lot of these people, they just don't want to do that. They start TikTok and they stop TikTok. So it makes sense for live streaming to be in addition to it. I don't care for it. And I think the main reason why I don't care for it is because I'm just not comfortable, like physically comfortable, emotionally comfortable. That's not the problem, but just like, I'm not going to physically get myself comfortable to like hold up my phone for what can go for like an hour or 2 hours, just holding a phone in front of my face. That's pretty dystopian. So like, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a cool thing that like they go. I don't know how long these things last for. So my gut is like, I think it's like a 10 to 20 minute live where they just answer a bunch of questions and then all that stuff gets like clipped into TikTok videos for them, right? So it'd be a cool way to make some easy content, batch out a bunch of videos, and they don't have to worry for like a month. So it can work. I'm not against it. I'm not even making TikToks. I'm technically making Vines. So like for me, yeah.
Yeah. No, so like I don't think TikTok's taking over Twitch. Let me just make that clear. I don't think TikTok is taking over Twitch at all. Now, I see this happening. So Twitch has released a non-disclosure. They canceled their non-disclosure, non-competitive clause and everything else. So here in the upcoming months, whenever everything takes effect, you can now officially stream. Now, I'm not saying this is for partnered streamers. I don't know if they deal with different things, but once you become affiliate or partnered, you have to usually hit terms of agreement save. And when you do that, you agree that you're only going to live stream on one platform. So I think this is what's going to happen. More people are going to realize when Twitch has officially announced that you can now do that, people are going to go live on TikTok, like I will admit I will do. I'll go live on TikTok, and I'll lead people over to Twitch. Or if I'm streaming on YouTube, I'm going to lead people over to YouTube. I'll go live on Twitch, but I'm not there to entertain the Twitch, or I'm not there to entertain the TikTok audience. I'm there to entertain the audience over to the Twitch side. And if you want to be a part of that, hop in to the Twitch so I can get your support over to another platform. I think that will continue to be what happens. I do not feel like, besides there are some good creators out there. One is Jimmy Donaldson, or man, I might be, no, his name's like Jimmy. And he literally does act of kindness for people on the streets. So like he'll be like, "Hey, do you have a spare change, or do you have any spare change for the bus?" And so he will be like, "Hey, since you did that, here's $500." I thought he was fake as fuck. I thought it was all scripted because I hate to say it, but social pranks have made me immediately think everything outside is scripted. But to actually see this guy in work, see this guy in action, seeing like this all happens, relatively because of the people he's with or because of his live streams and everything else. I'm like, people like that are going to do live streams. People like that, because they got known on TikTok, they're going to do it. Malad, he's a Subway TikToker. He's going to do that. He's going to live stream on there. He's going to use that instead of Twitch because he's well known on there. He does have the people on there dedicated to watch him there. But I don't feel like TikTok would take over Twitch in any sort of way, just because Twitch is still more well known. If you say, I'm going to start a gaming live streaming platform, everyone's going to assume you're going to Twitch, no matter who you are. No one's going to say, are you going to give D-Live a try? No, they're not going to be like, are you going to go to Facebook Gaming? No one's going to do that. They're immediately going to be like, oh, you're going to Twitch? And then if you say, no, I'm going to the ducksuckers.com. They're gonna be like, oh, what? It's like they're not gonna sit there and immediately get where you're gonna be going. So, but I don't feel like TikTok will take over Twitch. And like I said to the audience, is like when it's all said and done, we will see whenever we can get a stern article from TikTok themselves or an actual update. But here's the issues I have: you cannot contact TikTok. No one will contact you back. No one knows how TikTok works. No one understands a lot of this stuff. People get the algorithms. Like, I've studied the algorithms, I've studied the editing, I studied how TikTok will pick you up. I've done that, but no one will actually understand how certain things work because TikTok doesn't have people. Like, you get reported, so I edit for my girlfriend as well. And so our TikToks, we making a Hunk for Pink campaign, the whole reason our truck got fired. It's not the reason, but so when we put honks in a video, TikTok immediately assumes it's dangerous. No joke. So it will say this video have potential to be taken down due to people getting hurt. People are honking, not even mad. There's no video detection of an accident, no nothing. But because it's a vehicle, there's honking. TikTok immediately will assume.
I'm taking a kind of like a leap of logic here, but I wonder if that honking harkens back to the trucker protests that we had earlier on in the year when they were honking for like a week and, well, ended tyranny. So there's a part of me that actually thinks that like the some of the complaints that people were having or the association with honking might actually be the reason why they're doing that. Yeah.
I mean, but that's good theory, but then this is where I immediately respond with,
it's a mediocre theory, but thank you.
Well, it is something, even if you think the earth is flat, like it is something. It's a theory. But when it's all said and done, I can go on TikTok and watch someone literally get into a car accident, horns honking, everything else. Nowhere on that screen it tells me this video produces harmful content. Never says that. The video has over 12 million views. Never says it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not quite sure how this works. And at this moment in time, you can go live fuck it on TikTok. You will be fine though. Like, I hate to say you'll be fine, but the videos are gone. No one will ever see them again. You can't repost them. You can't download them. Once a TikTok live is done, no one will see it again. And that's why so many people got away with it.
Okay, so then I have to correct something I said earlier because I thought that you could clip those videos and then just like okay.
What I know of, and this is pretty good knowing, you cannot save a previous TikTok unless if you're screen recording the live stream that you're hosting. That, I guess, is a loop around for it, but at that point, it's just bad quality. I don't feel like you would get good content out of it, but
I mean, record it for personal reference, and then we're like, this was a question asked in our Q&A, and then just like redo the video. So at least like the work is half done. That's not bad.
Yeah, Harris Heller does a good job at doing things like that, like answering questions and putting them up in places. But yeah, I just don't think TikTok's gonna become the new Twitch, and that was like the primary idea with it. And we'll love to hear you guys' opinions, but I don't think TikTok's gonna become the new Twitch.
Yeah, I just hate to see it when a platform becomes less of itself. Yeah. Like when Twitter doubled its character limit, now TikTok it's doubling, tripling, quadrupling its video length, and now it's going into lives. I hate seeing when a platform dilutes itself in an obvious attempt to stay competitive. Like Instagram is supposed to be a photo app, and now it's just like
that
one main draw and several. Yeah,
that right there, that actually upset me more because before I studied, and I mean like studied, on how to post a viral a photo, like how to make a photo go viral on Instagram, and then like overnight it all changed. They're like, no, reels are where it's at. Why are we doing reels? TikTok. It's always when a competitor comes into play.
Yeah,
that is when platforms will change because the competitor has more growth than what they've seen, or they have more growth one month than they have. Like, it's going to happen in all competitors, and YouTube's doing the same thing. YouTube's been trying to air quote compete with Twitch for a while. Now I will say, with the idea of TikTok taking over everything, it definitely won't happen. People will always assume being like the new thing is going to take over. Look at Vine. Vine was making millions of views a day, billions of views a day. Vine's dead.
So ahead of his time.
I mean, it was. People's average viewer retention sucks. If lights flashing in their face, they might stick around. But Vine was ahead of their time, and look at them now. Like, and you can't say, well, maybe they last so long. No, because that's the reason TikTok's here. TikTok's here because they realized what Vine was ended up doing, and their music platform wasn't going well, because that's what TikTok was originally made for, was music. They realized it's not going anywhere. They're like, what can we do? And they kind of got the Vine idea. Now, this story has many twists. It has many turns. But when it's all said and done, they knew Vine worked. They said, let's make it just a posting platform where anyone could post stuff. Anyone could do anything. You could do whatever you want. Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
But,
and if you want your platform to survive, you're probably going to have adult content on there somewhere.
yeah.
Like YouTube can get by without it, but there is adult content on YouTube. It's not hard to find. There's adult content on TikTok. It's not hard to find. There's adult content on Instagram. It's not hard to find. One of the platforms that was doing quite well, and then things went a hell of a lot less well, was Tumblr. Tumblr used to have adult content, and it was aight. And then it started having adult content, and now it's an artifact.
I think one platform that we could say that survived through many times and like it has all mixed content is Reddit. I think Reddit is a great successor of like
Also, I think it's cesspool.
But I mean, think about it though.
You're
Reddit
both right.
literally has every kind of content on there. It's been around almost as long as YouTube, or if the same amount of time as YouTube. It supports all kinds of content. You can get banned from the platform, permanently banned. You can find the dark web on there. You can find videos you never want to ever see. Like, Reddit is a place that is like what people want. Like, if you had a question, you searched up into Google, how can I get a boner in 5 seconds? You're probably gonna find a Reddit thread. It's probably gonna happen.
Well, just find one of those games that says you're not going to last more than 5 seconds, and there you
Dude,
go. There's
that's a
nothing
fucking
wrong
lie.
with the suggestion.
That's a
I know
lie.
it's fucking,
Okay, let's get that out of the way now. Okay, I played
Reddit's
one
worse
of
than
those
even
apps.
Twitter.
Whoa, what?
Reddit's worse than Twitter. Thinking if you try to have a different opinion than everyone else, and you're gonna get freaking destroyed by a bunch of assholes on Reddit.
Well, I had to stop using it because I'm a Trump supporter. I was participating in a completely unrelated political conversation, and then somebody who disagreed with me goes through my post history, sees that I was posting on the Donald subreddit, and like, this guy's a Trump supporter. Don't need to argue with him. I'm like, fuck you. This is why we voted for him. And I honestly, I just kind of like fell out of Reddit after that. But I do go on to like, right-wing websites that are built to emulate Reddit. So same format, but they're not on Reddit. It's like .win, for instance. So in that sense, I've been using the Reddit format every day since like 2014, 2013.
And it seems
I love
outdated.
the format.
Like the
Pardon?
Reddit side really seems outdated, but it works so efficiently.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like
it's it's hard to replace. And one thing that I love to say about Reddit is that it solved a unique problem, which is, let's say, for instance, I bought a video game that had come out many years after it was at its peak, and let's just say it's a single player game, and I loved it, and I want to talk about it. And if I were to talk to anybody, like in school or at work, people either don't know of it, or my gamer friends would be like, oh, that game is so old. Who cares? Reddit solved that problem, which is no matter what you're passionate about, you can find a subreddit dedicated to talking about it, and the conversation is fresh. You miss out on the big party, but you at least can join the lounge, and you can still submit content for it and make friends for it. So in that capacity, Reddit has done an absolute gem of a service for people. But like with a lot of these platforms, when politics come in and they just can't resist the urge to take a side, it forces people to have to go somewhere else, like I did.
But I will say, for like Reddit, an example is like Reddit. You can find a Reddit page for your beliefs, for your religions, for your Democrat, Republican sides. Like, you can actually find that on there. YouTube, if you find someone who's like, I'm a Trump supporter, I'm gonna make a video, a Biden person will always find it being like, no, you can't do that. Like, I forgot what I was typing. Like,
I
you were
will
gonna see
grant
that.
you that like there is a conservative body on Reddit. However, the main Donald Trump, the official Donald Trump subreddit, was expressly banned from Reddit, and the entire like, Donald Trump's community was expressly removed from that website.
Wonder why.
And
That's
I wonder why too.
I see. I
Wink,
believe
wink, nudge, nudge.
just do your thing. Like, and I get it. Like, freedom of speech and all that doesn't really exist online in a certain way. Like, no matter what, you have the freedom of speech, but there's a time and place for it and things like that. I'm all supporting that. But to ban like Donald Trump getting banned on Twitter, I get it. Trying to start a war, I get it. But in the same sense,
That was not even remotely close to like what actually happened. But that's how
it's
this goes.
what you would read on a thread. The reason why they're doing it, and
Yeah,
luckily
and-
with
okay.
Elon Musk taking over, hopefully that will stop. Now I'm on a nice balanced board. Like, no matter who you are, I can agree with you. Trump's done some good things. Biden can't be our president. I agree with a lot of things. I evenly weigh both sides. But when it's all said and done, I think any social platform that will take a side, especially the owner of a platform will take a side, I don't feel like that's right. Twitter
I
should
agree.
not ban someone because they vote red or blue. Reddit should not ban a whole entire Reddit page because they are white or red or blue. They should not do that.
Mhm.
So, like, that's where I'm at. I don't think a website should control that.
Okay,
That's where I'm at.
I respect your take on it. I really do. I'll say this one other thing, and then we will close out the political. At least I'll stop saying my political opinions. I've been saving them. Hoard them for a few episodes at a time, and then let them out. Sorry, what was that, Charles?
I was just gonna say that this is what a lot of the stuff that goes on involving politics is why I never got into that crap, and I get why people have their faking political beliefs and everything. Honestly, I'm still in the faking camp of shit like what happened in Washington the last year, whatever was freaking ridiculous.
I think a lot of the stuff that continue to happen in our history is just insane, but that's where we the people can sit there and make the change for it. And it doesn't matter what side you vote on still. Like, if you hated what happened with it, speak up about it. But I get like also trying to stay out of politics because I'm a person who have no time. I don't want to spend an hour of my day looking at what did Biden do today? What is the White House doing? The Johnny Depp situation is already taken over. I have not seen a single thing about COVID. I have not seen a single thing about Biden falling. But I can tell you this: Amber Heard's is not doing well. But that's the media. I just try to stay out of politics as much as possible. It's something that can definitely dive you in big time.
I also don't want to freaking even if I ever did get involved in the whole politics thing, then I don't want to freaking lose any friends over it because we have different opinions on everything.
You will lose me 110.
I lost quite a few friends over politics over the years. It sucks, but at the same time, a lot of the people that I'll just say,
go ahead.
All the people that I lost were all people I was kind of hoping to lose anyways, and it actually ended up being like an easier way out. You know, it was like a "you can't fire me, I quit" kind of thing. Actually, well, I can't quit. They just fired me. That was it. So it stings, but you know, you can't get your antidote unless you extract it from the venom of the creature that's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. The other thing I was going to say too before I dropped it is like the thing that irritates me is when a platform, and I'm thinking particularly of LinkedIn in this case, takes a stance on something as if it is the established truth or is considered the normal or even the center.
Okay.
When in actuality it's just one opinion of a two-sided debate. And I'm in my opinion, I do not like it when people are compelled to state their pronouns. People have specific pronouns, go right ahead. I have no problem with that. However, I dislike any platform that expects people to publicly state that, because that to me is a left-wing point of view And a right-wing point of view is keep that to yourself. We don't care, just keep it to yourself. And so by making that the necessity for even for certain websites to even like register and fill it out, I find that deeply troubling.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that. And I'm guessing with you meaning pronouns like your male,
They, them,
female,
they, zer.
Okay.
If you go to Twitter, my pronouns are what and who goes there.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I don't think no matter what there should always be, your standards because when medically there's only two. There should be the two, and then there should be an option either you don't make it public or you can what is it, binary? Or
Non-binary.
Non-binary. You should be able to either hit not public or non-binary. Now, that's a personal thing with it. Like, I support everyone. I support who you are. I don't care what you go by. Don't get pissy at me because I don't know you and I called you by something else. Don't get pissy because I can't pronounce it right or I don't honestly know because I'm a random stranger. Don't get pissy. But nowhere out there should force you to have to make it public if you don't want it to be public.
And it doesn't even have to be forced. It just has to be compelled.
Yeah.
If you see a lot of people who are all stating their pronouns publicly, then it makes people who are not doing that seem off.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm not comfortable. I don't think we should be doing that because it takes sex and makes it a much more of a front and center part of LinkedIn, for instance, is supposed to just be a professional thing. So like, if I misgender a person, here's a way to show professionalism. Say, oh, I'm very sorry, sir, but I prefer to be referred to as this and that. And then I can say, well, I don't like being referred to as sir. I prefer to be referred to as this and that. I love the fact that people are call themselves whatever the hell they want. I love that. I love that people are like two-spirited or fox-skinned. Do whatever the hell makes you happy. Yeah. Like the world is chaos, so you might as well add a little bit of your own personal chaos to it. Go right ahead. Yeah. It's just, to me, just displaying that is just not professional.
No, and I definitely agree with that. That really takes, especially LinkedIn, a professional meeting site so you can get business relationships and stuff like that. It's not professional. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Charles, you were going to say something.
I wish freaking Arizona freaking sponsors me because I drink so much of this crap.
Grow bigger, bro. Grow bigger.
Make sure you wash it out after.
No, crush it, then wash it out.
It. Like if that's glass, maybe.
And they're crumbled. But yeah, keep growing, keep streaming, keep posting your videos and stuff, and who knows, Arizona's team, reach out to CJ and Lone Wolf. He won't be so lonely.
I'm not gonna be lonely. I'm not gonna be so lonely anymore soon. I don't know if you saw that little freaking box I was tossing up in the air. Nobody knows what it is, but I don't know if you've seen it yet, Joseph.
I don't know.
If you didn't lately, whenever I go on a rant, my eyes just kind of glaze over and I have an out-of-body experience. So no, I didn't see it.
It rhymes with ping. His internet connection sucks.
Oh.
For the audio listeners,
I actually did say it, but I didn't realize I got it right because I was thinking of the security thing.
Oh,
Ring the Ring security.
Yeah, that made. Wait, no, I don't use Ring. Do I use Ring? No, I don't. Okay.
Josh.
I honestly don't. I have two security systems. I actually don't know, so I had to verify. No, using
something alarming about that, but.
Well, when you're in social media and people want to be crazy, you take the precaution. Plus, anyone that's in AI should make their address not public and have security of some sort. I live in a very safe town in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, but
use a VPN.
It's still good. I do. I use a NordVPN. I use NordVPN. I have Simply Safe Security that sponsors YouTubers all around the universe. And then I have another security system I'm not going to tell about because that will bring cops right to my door if people know about it. So I'm not going to do it. But yeah, I mean, I make sure I'm safe and sound.
Whenever I remember to turn it on, I use the VPN freaking on my that I have through Norton. just a security
Yeah.
program on my laptop.
I use it on my laptop because my laptop is this is like my travel gaming whole entire section, and then I have it on my phone. But Samsung, this actually works for Samsung users, is they actually give you like a pull down menu to where you just click a button and it turns on your VPN without going to the app, hitting on. My 8 won't do it, but my S20 does it. So it's very nice to have. But yeah, wear protection. Wear protection. Don't.
Unless you want freaking kids, then freaking makes it be wearing a freaking condom or something.
I think Charles is gonna poke some holes in his, if you know what I mean.
So that's the one that still hasn't even asked Brittany freaking the question. You've been with her longer than I've been with my girlfriend.
I've been with her for 5 fucking years. If we're not committed at this point, I don't know what is. We don't have to have a ring to prove it. Like that's actually one of the big things that get asked all the time. If it's from a stranger, if it's from family, they'll be like, so when are you popping the question? It's been over 5 years. I was like, exactly. It's been 5 fucking years and we're still together. She had many opportunities to leave. She had life insurance on herself, so if anything happens to her, I'm covered. I don't have that. I don't have life insurance on me. So it's like, if anyone's not committed in this relationship, it's me. But I immediately tell people, I'll be like, yeah, we're committed. We got promise rings. That works. And I don't take mine off at all. And it doesn't fit anymore. I've lost so much weight. My ring just slides on and off like crazy. So if it gets cold out, though, I can't wear the ring. So I put it on a necklace so it just dangles. But yeah, I just, too much work now. I told her whenever we're rich and famous, I'll marry her. And she's like, cool, can we go to the Bahamas? I said, no, I'm not flying. She's like, cool, rich and famous, can we go to the Bahamas? No, I'm not flying. I'm not taking a plane anywhere. The only thing is we need to do it before my dad dies. It's for one, he's the one that's gonna marry us in the future, but it's also a thing where it's like, I want him to be there, so like, eventually I will, and it is like on a time crunch because, you have to take the days as they are. But since my parents try to make it a thing every year to try to kill themselves in some sort of way, if it's blowing themselves up, getting a heart attack, asthma attack, allergic reaction to something, they try to end it. I'm pretty certain at this point, my dad will ruin a holiday for us. So every time there's a holiday he has not ruined yet from trying to die, we will just watch out for it. We're telling him, like, Dad, don't go anywhere. Just stay home. Well, I gotta go do this. I gotta go out to the car and try to fix this. Dad, don't. Just don't. Stay inside. Just don't do it. He had a heart attack.
We're trying you. We're locking you in the closet, and we're sealing off all the exits. It's for your own good.
Then when he comes out of the closet, he's like, "Oh my God, I'm alive!" me and my dad was running through a joke yesterday. He started growing a coffee bean tree, and so he wants to grow his own coffee bean. He's like, "Yeah, it's gonna take 30 years, and I'll finally get a coffee bean." I was like, "Dad, when you die, I will bury you that damn coffee bean." He's like, "Ooh, put it in my mouth so whenever I'm cremated, I smell like coffee." I'm like, fucking Dad, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Can't wait until you die. He's like, just 30 years, just give me 30 years for a bean to grow. I was like, Dad, trust me, when people smell you coming past the funeral home, they'll be like, who is that? I'll be like, that's my dad. Dark roast. Smooth press.
yeah, dark is pretty apt to that term there. But you're inspiring me to consider this as an option now, since I could technically end up as a cup of Joe.
Yeah, dude, I would think it would be great. Me and my dad that was like literally no joke. We were 5 minutes in a conversation, not talk for like 3 weeks, and that was the first thing we were talking about. When he dies, we're putting some coffee beans in his mouth.
Come to see my kids. Like, hey, can we get you a cup of Joe? Coffee or no, Joe.
Can you get a cup of Dad?
he's an instant powder mix. He just.
That's fucked up. Yeah. Instant powder mix.
Do we have other things we were supposed to talk about?
Other things to talk about. TikTok was the biggest thing. Is there anything on your mind?
No, I know I posted a couple things that I thought we'd talk about, like what's locked behind a Patreon thing, but there's a whole thing where people can play a bit from a fan-made Unreal Engine, like 5 or 4 version of Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Wait, people can play Ocarina of Time on Patreon?
Unreal. The Unreal Engine.
So somebody's been remaking Ocarina of Time with the Unreal Engine, and obviously it looks significantly better than the Nintendo 64 and slash or the 3DS remake. I mean, it looks like a game that would come out on the next wave of consoles, not even the ones that we have now. It's that good.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. Although, you know, since we're on the subject now, I have nothing but like respect for the work that people are going in to authentically recreate the Nintendo 64 game. But I have a problem with remakes, which is when a game is made for a certain system, it's not just the visuals and the sound and obviously whatever are the limitations of the gameplay, but it's also the architecture of the environment itself that is reminiscent of that console. So like the towns and the settings that they make for the Ocarina and Majora's Mask are Nintendo 64 settings. That means that town is only as big as Nintendo 64 can let it be. Now, with all of this visual fidelity and all of this upgrade in technology, would it be so bad to maybe reimagine how the town could look, to reimagine how big the field could be, to reimagine the forest, reimagine the dungeons? Because you're still basically running around a Nintendo 64 game, even if it looks gorgeous.
I'm trying to sit there. So you don't like how the remastered versions are pretty much the copy and paste of the old ones, or are you saying
they upgrade some things, but they don't upgrade to me the most important part.
Okay.
They don't upgrade the actual like world. So if let's just say, for instance, a simple example, if they took that in a 64 game and they said, okay, well, we're going to re-release it on the GameCube, but the environment is the exact same, even though the GameCube can now render a bigger environment with more buildings, more enemies, more anything, and they don't do it. That to me is like, well, it's still an artifact of a previous design philosophy.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call that a remastered then. Or like a remake or anything. Like that would just be
It's an
like
an HD upgrade.
console. Yeah, that's all it would be.
Yeah,
just
it's like an HD update. Yeah.
Now, obviously, like there are some games out there that we would all want that little HD upgrade just so we could play it in the current day time period. Like there's a lot we would want. But we also see in like big flops like Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis from the PlayStation 1 to 2.
Right.
And then it get remade for Xbox One and PS4s. And everyone hated it. There's obviously a huge amount of people that loved Resident Evil 3, but people who played the original hated how this one turned out because it wasn't the iconic scenes. It's not what they remembered. The beginning wasn't even laid out the same way. It wasn't like it wasn't there. And
I had that problem with the Resident Evil 2 remake, even though that one was much more well received. The fact that like the number one, my favorite part of the game, and is many people's favorite parts, is at the beginning of the game when you're running through Raccoon City for the first like 15-20 minutes and just trying to get to the police station. And the fact that they cut that down in the remake, the one thing I want to see more than anything is how to get through Raccoon City in this new horrific setting. And like, oh, there it is. I just turned a corner and I'm in. Like, guys. They like, okay, later on in the game, you step out, you head into the city. Like, okay, at least I could see it at some point, but
well, even then, you don't head into the city. Like, you literally... I'm sorry, I'm about to spoil Resident Evil 2 if you haven't played it yet. But you leave the garage after a situation. You leave the garage. You go out to a street. One side is broken down. The other side is broken down. And you go across the street to the gun store. That's it.
Yeah, you're right. You don't exactly
like,
head into the city, but I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, but that right there, like you even said, like that's your trip into the city. Instead of Resident Evil 2, like you literally sat there, go outside, or you start the game, you're outside, you're making your way to the place. You have 2 different safe rooms on your way there, or at least 1 safe room on the way there. You have to navigate through this, fight zombies. Hell, at the beginning of Resident Evil 3, you literally start off with 2 zombies trying to kill you. In the old Resident Evil 3, you start off, an explosion happens, Jill rolls out, and it's, you start off with your machine gun, and you have to immediately take out the 2 zombies, climb up on top of the thing, jump back down, and you start the game. That's literally how the game started. And it's like, that's kind of what people, like, it's weird that they want that, but back then,
and also,
it's like, no, you're good.
And also, like, 1 to 3, they were also adventure games too. People tend to overlook that because they think it's just a survival horror, but like those games might as well have been point and click with the puzzle solving and just the traversal of the environment. So in the original, you have the house as kind of like your hub world, at least for the first little while, and there's familiarity because you're kind of like going back to the main hall, get your bearings again, go out into a new unexplored area, and so there's a familiar feeling to it, even though it's horror.
Yeah.
You got the police station in part 2, and in both cases, eventually you do move away from these main settings and you start heading off into the latter part of the game. And in part 3, it's now the city. The city becomes like the hub zone, and now you're kind of like moving in and out of the city, going down different streets. Things become a little bit familiar over time, and then eventually you move on to the latter parts of the game. I love that. That's one of my favorite parts of it. And like, you don't get that so much in part 2 and 3. And this is actually where technology ends up just providing you with a whole different set of limitations, because now the game looks better, it sounds better, and it's more expensive to make and produce. They actually the gameplay has actually been restricted in a lot of ways. They lose a lot of that adventure aspect to it, which I haven't played Village, but it sounds like Village kind of like brings it back to that. Explore different parts, have your hub zone.
Go back into different areas to find new things and to explore and to unlock new stuff. Like, it does kind of bring that in there. But, so, like, that's where it comes, like, to the remakes, is sometimes you want, like, that graphic, like, old games. Old games, you just want them to pretty much just put it onto an HD version, give it to us. But then there's also sometimes where they make a remake too soon, and then they just destroy the game. And I think like that's something we don't want to see. But like the Zelda Ocarina of Time, where they like revealed it and they made it to where it's like the better graphics, but it's the same game, is what I'm hearing. And so like it's the exact same game, it has the same gameplay features. It's better graphics.
Yeah.
And I think like that's
like
something that
the buildings are all in the exact same place, and
yeah, I mean, so in a sense, like, you also wouldn't want to copy, paste, and play the same game, but if it's been long enough time, like, in the sense of Resident Evil 3 to our Resident Evil 3 now, Zelda Ocarina of Time to now, like, it could definitely be a reassurance of a good time. But, so, was this game free to play if you join the Patreon page? Obviously, you have to pay X amount for the Patreon page, and does the makers of Nintendo have issues with that?
Not that I know of. All I know is that it'll probably get taken down eventually.
That's my worry.
That's highly likely.
Anytime and I hate to say it, but if you're a small game developer or anything else like that, if you make something successful, like in the sense of Zelda Ocarina of Time, you redid their game, it is a risk that you're putting through because you just spent all that time re-engineering the game. But if you do too good of a job at it, you will watch everything you worked on for the past year or 2 years get taken away because you, in the sense, you stole someone else's property and tried to benefit off it. Even if it was free, you still somehow benefited off of it, and it could get taken away, and now no one will see your product. Versus, you can make a game for yourself, and like, in the sense of Zelda, but you could use the exact same kind of concept of Zelda, make a game, not call it Zelda, take out the features that make it Zelda, make it your own game. Instead of Link, it's Dink, just sit there, make the changes. And so you have your game, and by legal classifications, Nintendo can't take it away. If you do everything the legal way, they can't take it away. You could say, well, they stole this iconic scene idea. So? Games do it all the time.
I think it might depend too on like what exactly can and cannot be patented.
I mean, that's
so like if a system can be patented, like our time travel mechanic is patented, which means that you can't go forward 7 years for the sake of a story. Like there's weird things that end up getting like protected by company IP.
That is what you could try to avoid, especially if this guy sat there and literally remade the whole game into our HD quality now, and he could have spent all that time working on his own version of it. Instead of going in the future 7 years, go 8 years. Instead of saving fucking Zelda herself, you're saving Peaches. Like
or what if like well, here's a thought. What if instead of even traveling through time, he just travels through different dimensions and ends up in like a completely different version of Hyrule, where now everybody are like pig people or something.
That's something that
Yeah.
they could sit there and do, but
Yeah.
it's just
And
it
that's
sucks
kind
to
of like
see because like
the
this
trouble.
maker will get destroyed from Nintendo. They will take away all their hard work they just did, and that's why. I hate
Yeah,
to
and
see.
that is the trouble. And this is just to your point as well, is like, people are getting attention for this because they are using an established property that people know and love. So if somebody were to go completely OG, they would have a hell of a time appealing to those exact same people. They would have to like go to all the different community websites, go on the different podcasts, try to like get into the Zelda communities to say, hey, I'm a big fan. I wanted to make my own version of it. Obviously, I can't do that, but here's this thing. So it would take a lot more footwork to try to like get that same attention. All you have to do is just post a screenshot of this, and people are like, whoa, I recognize that from my childhood.
Yeah, I mean, like with that, you could, like you said, post a screenshot of it and people be like, oh my god, and you could make a engine of the game to where it works, but it's just all that hard work. Like, if I don't know if he actually made the full game, all able to be downloaded, all able to be played, but that's
No,
where I'm
no,
like,
no,
that's
not
where
the
he
whole thing for sure.
Okay, so
It's
if
only
he
part of it, as far as I know.
only part of it, okay. Actually, I'm reading it. Yeah, the demo. It's classified as a demo. So in a few days, posted the demo with the support of UVCI. Okay, I'm just glancing through the article real quick, and yeah, so it was just a demo, and yeah, I mean, with that being the case, it probably didn't take him nearly as long as it would to make a full game. And if this is his reason, and he knows that he's going to get a cease and desist or something like that, where he has to take it down, he's right now marketing himself, showing people, I could do this. This is what I could do. Imagine what I could do with another game or something like that. So with this, if this is his idea, put a X amount of time into something to get his name out there. Now he's gonna, make people notice. Great idea. Unfortunately, you could deal with some repercussions from it, but you know what you're putting out. But in the eyesight, if you work all your time on this, like Markiplier talked a lot about this with Five Nights at Freddy's series. Like, people will try to make a knockoff of Five Nights at Freddy's, and they'll still have Freddy Fazbear and Foxy and Ducky Momo Bitch. Like, they were continuing to have those people in there. Yeah, Chica. And they'll continue to have those people. And Markiplier's like, don't do that. Make your own game. Your game is so good. You don't need to put in Freddy. I understand it's iconic. He's like, I understand you want to be a part of the franchise, but you can make your own game, get your own credit for it, get your own merchandise for it, and make something that's yours, and then post it in those communities who play those games. He's like, it's a lot of legwork, but you will have the same results, except people will be like, oh my god, this was such a great job. You did a great job with this game. We can see the iconic little scenes. We see the Easter eggs and stuff like that. And like he even said, Easter eggs, best thing to do. He's like, Easter eggs will 100% get you in a subreddit. He's like, that's where you want to be. And because of big people like PewDiePie, Markiplier, things like that, that's the only reason I really know subreddits still exist. I don't use Reddit. I only use a handful of platforms. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Once I stopped streaming on Facebook, no joke, I haven't been on there. I post on Instagram still. I post the stories on there, but I don't use Facebook anymore. Once I stopped streaming on there, I just really stopped using Facebook that much. When I make a post, people are like, you're still alive? I'm like, yeah, fortunately, but I'm still here. But nah, I want to see game developers really get credited for what they deserve. But this guy, what's that?
There's a game that somebody was working on. That was basically a Batman game that was based off the movies where like Tommy Lee Jones was like the Joker, or he was Two-Face in one.
Okay.
Batman Forever.
It's a game based off of those movies. The original. So like mainly like the one I remember. It was like the one with like I think they had Penguin in it, or whatever. Like the working Batmobile and everything, and you could walk around and the city looked exactly like it did in those old movies and everything. I think it might have been Warner Brothers. Immediately freaking had told them to take it down and everything, erase everything, freaking, and anybody who did like a YouTube video or anything got a copyright strike.
Yep. And
I would know because somebody I freaking support freaking on YouTube, freaking and Twitch, freaking got a strike for it. Reaction video he did.
Yep, that stuff happens a lot, and that is why I will always support people doing their own thing. And when it's all said and done, that's why I always run a fine line. Like, you don't see me really doing duets on TikTok. You don't see me really doing proper collaborations, because when it's all said and done, it's like anything can happen to those creators if something happens to them. It's like if it was a year ago, you didn't want to sit there and do a video with Call Me Carson. You don't want to be a part of that. Drake from Drake's Josh. If you did a video with him a year ago, you don't want to have that association now. Like, unfortunately, it is what it is, but you got to be careful. And when you get to the point where companies are starting to reach out, and I've experienced this, where a company will reach out and they'll say, hey, take it down, or you will or have to get a hold of a legal team. And it's like, you would rather that. You would rather that, because once legal teams get involved, they've already got paid to send out the letters. So you could receive another letter in the mail a week later after you took everything down with a court date saying you have to fly to Arizona and now deal with this. And if you don't, they're going to win. They're going to win the trial. And you're now having to pay whatever funds that they said that you owe. Now you have to pay it. So they always will send you either a cease and desist that is pretty much a warning, and then they'll sit there, or they'll ask you kindly to say, hey, kill it. Just fucking stop it. Just stop it. Everything's gonna be good. There's a guy on TikTok that is actually getting sued for the same reasons. He does Lightning McQueen stuff. He made his car look exactly like Lightning McQueen.
Oh, yeah, I saw this. Yeah. Oh.
This guy
What's wrong with freaking doing that? This freaking kid, you still love cars.
See, the thing is, it's not even about that. It's because his videos got viral and his videos did so great, and the things he do is so great. Pixar went, ooh. So about that, that's our money. You're stealing our stuff. So his result to this, and I don't think he done it, but he was starting to ask questions about it. He's like, so what do I do? What do I do about this? And he was like, yeah, we could change the numbers to 69. He's like, we could change the number to 69. That could be cool for kids to take photos next to. And I can imagine Pixar's team. Is it Pixar or Disney? I don't know, but I can imagine their team going, start making the cars have a 69 on the side of it. Ooh, that could, ooh. But when it's all said and done, like, companies will get pissy if you become successful through their products. That's why you don't see, only companies I will ever sit there and, like, even talk about really is Bang, because I already know the CEO of it and how he runs. He's not going to care. It's free promotion. I talk about Nubu because they've worked with me. We had agreements. I don't care about talking about them. Sure, I'm not gonna say shit about them because they haven't paid me. They gave me no money. They gave me no products. I'm not saying shit. They're a microphone company. I recommend, but I ain't talking shit. I ain't talking nice things. They are what they is. But when it's all said and done, companies will always try to get every penny they can, especially a company that made something in the past that was successful or it wasn't successful. If they see someone get success, they will try to take it down. It is what it is, but that's the reason they're multi-billion-dollar companies, is because they do this. That's why we have DMCAs. That's why we have copyrights. It's because of these multi-million-dollar companies. It happens with the music. It's happening every day. You can watch something. Let's say Mr. Beast. Let's say we watch a Mr. Beast video, and he has a song that play. Actually, he did. He had a song play. It was a Bon Jovi song that he sat there, didn't even sing close to. They claimed his video and will not unclaim it. He lost millions of dollars because they claimed his video. But when it's all said and done, and they didn't ask him to take it down, that was just because of the DMCA's already in place. All these people are going to make tons of money. That's why when we joke around like copyright, it's actually a thing. People do, and it's not today, it's not tomorrow, but once you get successful, it's gonna happen. It's going to click down hard. So that's why I always say make your own
stuff.
stuff.
I yelled at whenever Jordan says something, and I'm pretty sure it's copyrighted. Freaking, that's why.
Yep, that you'll be finding out this weekend. Dude, I've been thinking of some songs that rhymes with a Halo, or thinking of some good ways I can. Dude, I have a voice mod now that makes me sound echoey. Dude, imagine me doing that. Oh, with the
God,
echo.
you're gonna be like freaking Chibi Robo.
Dude, it's gonna be great. But we're already we're wrapping close to our end time, and I have a tornadoes coming through here soon. Thanks, Kansas. So any final words on Ocarina of Time? That little rework situation.
I'm just rooting for the creators. I hope that they and land themselves a really great opportunity somewhere with all this hard work that they're doing. And I don't blame them for my previous statements about like, yeah, you can update the visuals, but you're not updating anything else. As a general thing to all the games industry, for me, a remake needs to be, you need to rethink the architecture first and foremost. Don't just like put the same buildings in the same spot and think that's good enough. It shows how dated your game really is when you sell a Nintendo 64 game on a GameCube and so on.
Yep. And dating your content, I will 100% always say this: dating your content is the worst thing you could ever do. And remastering something and still have it all dated, not the best decision to do, especially charging the same price. That's the biggest thing. Don't charge the same price for something you're just copy and pasting. That's scummy. Don't do that.
As long as this remake freaking of Ocarina of Time freaking turns out better than how Halo 1 Anniversary turned out, because it literally looked like they just took Halo 1, all the character models from Halo 1, and just gave them look like the same character models from Halo Reach.
Yeah, pretty much. But
the majority of the weapons even have the Halo Reach models.
Yeah.
Except for the assault rifle.
I mean, you're not wrong, but Halo Reach was a massive success. Even though some people don't like to see it, but it was a massive success.
And then one thing, Halo 2, the remake of that game, I think the anniversary version of that game is how a remake should be, because that game looks fucking awesome. And the cutscenes freaking look movie quality.
That right there, like not even the cutscene part, I think if they did that, where they updated the graphics but let you change it, so you can have that nostalgia, or you can go for the new. Especially something as old as like Halo 2 was, making it to where you have like these old blocky graphics and you can hit a button. Maybe it can't be hit a button because quality does change from 720 to 2K. So it's like maybe just like in your options menu, you have max quality new, max quality old. Do something like that so you can sit there and like flip it whenever you want to.
When I was playing on the Master Chief Collection on the PC, we could flip it.
That's the thing I liked about the
you could do that, and I love it.
Yeah. And you can switch to graphics. Sorry.
I absolutely love that idea. Like, I love being able to switch to the graphics, but I do know the more our games progresses, we're not going to be able to do that.
Right.
And I think Flight Simulator is a good indication of that. Like, if you had an old Flight Simulator made in 2001 and tried to do the graphics switch, no way. I don't think that would be able to happen. But
I still remember when you freaking complained that it was either Halo 1 or 2 looked like freaking shit in the original graphics.
Oh, I said that with Halo 2 because it was the fucking forest mission. Like, you look it up on the hills and they're like, looks like a goddamn prison. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. I hit the button, change it, fucking grassy fields you can see for miles. It looks cool. I'm like, this is so much better. What the fuck? It's like,
it was early 2000s on the original Xbox, Jordan, and it was a game that was kind of rushed out the door, so.
I mean, you're just proving a point. It's like, but no matter what, like we all said, like it would be cool if like they were able to like make that update the graphics, but not change the game. Now, some circumstances, maybe change the game. There's a remake and a remastered. And I think that's something people in the gaming industry needs to make up their mind with. There's remastered and there's a remake. I think a remastered should be just a mastered graphics. Actually update the graphics, not copy and fucking paste. Update the graphics. And then a remake should be change up the game. You know, instead of Sally go over there in the woods and get shot by a bear, maybe Sally goes out into the street and gets shot by a mugger. Makes more sense. Do that. It makes more sense that way. So I think that's a big thing that people also need to just, I guess, understand is remastered and remake. And I know that's something that I have a hard time comprehending. It's like, why didn't they do this? It's a remaster, not a remake. Well, why didn't they do this? It's a remake, not a remastered. Like, because there's a massive difference, but I also know game developers don't see that either. They would just go, what will make more sales? Well, remastered, sir.
I really liked.
Remastered it is.
Like,
Go ahead.
another remaster that I really liked was like the remaster of Gears 1 and Modern Warfare 2, even if it's just the campaign. Because they look so much fucking better in the remaster than they did the original, especially Gears of War 1.
They remastered it?
I've been trying to get you to play it with me.
I've already played Gears of War 1 and 2.
Well, I've been wanting to play the Gears of War series with you, remember?
I know, but I played him a while. I beat him on legendary mode. I beat him on the hardest difficulty with Justin.
And I can only imagine from my experience how what you had to deal with when it came to fighting Rom.
It was fine. Like when it's all said and done, like that's how I played every game. Was I would literally buy a brand new game, play it on the hardest difficulty, because it's the hardest achievement, and it would leave more of an impact. So immediately, because I want a game to actually impact how I foresee it. So if I play a game and I'm like, this is hard as fuck, or I play a game and it's like, oh my god, like this took me hours to do, that's gonna leave more of an impression than I said, oh, I bought this game, I sat down for 6 hours, beat it, and then just started playing through easy mode, beat it, and then played it on normal, beat it, and then went to hard mode, now it's giving me trouble. That doesn't leave as much of an impact as play a game, play it on the hardest difficulty first, because and then after that you feel like you're better at the game. So when you start walking through an easy mode, you're like, hey, yeah, bitch, you're not that hard now. Like, it has that, it leaves more of an impact. And I agree, like, all games should leave that nostalgia or an impact that makes you actually go, this was what I wanted. Especially a game like Gears of War.
As far as I know, it's supposed to be played on the hardest difficulty because they are fucking hard.
Doom is supposed to be played on the hardest difficulty. Doom 100% should be played on a hard, but also like with Halo is a prime example of why you should play on a hard difficulty, because like the elites should be hard. They should be like the things that kill you. On easy or normal mode, the elite, you could just walk up to it, bust in the face, it's dead. Hard mode, it's a little more difficult, but legendary mode, you're terrified. They get too close, a few hits and a whack, you're dead. So
I still have PTSD from Halo 2.
Shut the fuck up. I fucking told my dad, I was like, Dad, he's still bitching about his PTSD. I was like, but he did not fight the final boss. He did not sit there and really fight the final boss. Like, he was eating his fucking chicken nuggets. I was over there, fucking killing this man. He came back going, and he hears me going, man, I need to pick up the gun. I need more ammo. Fires 2 shots. He just screams, yes! I'm like, you don't get to celebrate.
I was celebrating my nephew's birthday at the time.
I don't give a fuck for what reasons. I'm going to tell the story how I want to. We both get the credit for beating the final boss, but I get to tell the story. You were off eating your fucking chicken nuggets, okay?
I still freaking wish Facebook hadn't deleted that fucking video, that stream though.
I wish they didn't either, but unfortunately, we gotta learn. But we lived the experience through it. We have that nostalgia. We have that impact to the game.
And I could easily probably find the achievement for beating it on Legendary freaking somewhere on my achievement list.
Plus, yeah, that's the thing is too, we have our achievement list, so it proves that we've done it. So already right there, it's good. But we are running a lot later now. So Charles, where can people find you?
You like watching freaking the occasional video game related thing, or me freaking doing something that has to do with wrestling? You can go to my channel, CG the Lone Wolf.
Ow! Nice. Joseph, where can people find you?
If you were wondering if anything was going to get blocked by your microphone, that wolf howl didn't get through.
What?
All I heard was
it sounds like a dog just got crushed. Okay, cool. Where can people find you?
Just like one of those, I don't know, the fright crates, those giant ones, just something big enough to completely stuff out anything underneath. Okay. I'm gonna mix it up today for my actually, yes, we've been talking about TikTok a bunch, so I'll just lead people to my TikTok this time. It is Seph, which is SEPH. Missed out on Vine. That's my TikTok. I got videos on there. They're funny. I just like doing comedy videos. So yeah, that'll be my plug for the day.
Yeah, we talked about a lot about TikTok, but since that is the title of this podcast and it is everything about what we really wanted to focus on today, it made sense that, we heavily talked about TikTok and why we are kind of promoting our TikToks. Speaking of TikToks, I have a TikTok, Skull Hunter Games. At the moment of time recording this, we have we have below 500, that's for sure. I posted a TikTok. I try not to post this for everyone. Do not monitor your TikToks or videos as soon as you post them, you'll be depressed. Just wait a few hours, then check on them. I post my TikTok.
Depressed or puzzled?
Both, especially like ones that you're like, damn, this is good, and then you check it in 20 minutes, you're like, 2 views? What? It's like, so I learned, post them, check on them later, and now it's to the point where I was getting like 5 notifications every few hours to now it's 170 notifications within the 7-hour mark since I posted. Videos at 800 views. But like I was saying is, we're at 885 followers on TikTok. And at the time of recording this. So, if we're at 1,000 by the next time, you missed out. You missed out on Skull Hunter Games. Like Vine. I truly missed out on Vine. But that's where we are, Skull Hunter Games on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Twitch. I do not recommend going to find my Facebook page because it is dead. There is no post happening over there. And our podcast is Skull Hunter Podcast. Anywhere you search us up, you will find it. We've drove a lot of people into our podcast today. I made sure to talk about it a ton because TikTok's big information, and that's where a lot of my viewers from Twitch do come in from. So we wanted to make sure that, they know. I said Twitch, I meant TikTok. A lot of people from TikTok come into the Twitch to see, so I make sure to talk about the podcast there. But you can find our podcast on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you get your podcast at, really. I think it's even on like a Google podcast listening place. I'm not certain, but if you want to watch the video podcast, you can only see those on Spotify Premium, on YouTube, and on Facebook. The Facebook and the YouTube are totally free. That's where you can watch it. Big thank you to Anchor for sponsoring this podcast. It's an all-in-one platform that you need. If you listen on the audio realm, you've already heard us talk about them about 3 different times, but we always want to give a big thank you through video versions because they do help us out with their editing tools. Even if they don't pay me enough to say it, I will always talk about them because they are absolutely amazing. They make uploading the podcast super simple. Super quick, super simple, and boom. And right now they are letting you upload video podcasts. They extract the audio from it. They do have some bugs. They make that noted. They do have some bugs on their platform, still trying to get that integrated. So beware of that. So you still might have to extract the audio and do the video separate, but they will be fixing those very, very soon. But yeah, that is the podcast, everyone. We did it. That's right. We finally succeeded. And we'll be back in about 3 months. Hopefully, James is back from the milk run. But without further ado, goodbye, everybody!
Good night. Here's an easy out hustle. You can do it right now. Go, hang out.
Man, with no audio, this is weird.